Welcome back. As a part of the conceptual class, we understood we can create the RDDs in three ways: by interoperating between the data frames and RDDs from a local collection, and we can create the RDD by reading a data from data sources. Let us see hands-on examples for all these three modes of creation of RDD. So I have launched my PySpark already. By this time, you would have launched the PySpark multiple times. Let me go ahead and create the data frame first. The name of the data frame is df numbers. And the way I will do it is I will invoke the Spark session and I will use the range function. And I'll say just create 10 values. That should be fair enough. And I will use the 2df function here. 2df. I will name the column as id. Let me go ahead and create this data frame. Awesome. I created the data frame. Let me show this to you guys so you'll know what are the contents of this data frame. Yes, you can see I have created a data frame. Name of the data frame is df numbers that has one column. The column name is id and I have 10 values there, 0 to 9. Let me go ahead and convert this data frame into RDD. How do I do that? As we have already discussed in our conceptual class, all we have to do is use the RDD method. Say df numbers and .rdd. That's it. Nothing else. Let me go ahead and execute this. There you go, you are done. So let me go ahead and try to show this to you. Numbers RDD dot show. Nah, it's not working actually. The show is an action which you can use only with the data frames. You cannot use the show with the RDD. Then how do you see the content of the RDD? Very simple, by using a take. I'll go ahead and say that take say some 10. You can see all the values which are there as a part of the data frame are converted into the row type here. You can see that, right? Row id is equal to 0 until row id is equal to 9, because we have 9 elements. 9 values which were there as a part of the data frame are there as a part of the RDD now. Okay, excellent. We saw how do we really convert a data frame into an RDD. Then how about other way around? Can we convert the RDD into a data frame? Yes, we can do that. Let's do that now. I'll say RDD to df and I'll say df numbers. That is the df numbers RDD. That is the RDD name. And I'll just use a very simple method to df. Let me go ahead and execute this. Done. Let me show this to you so that you know this has been converted into data frame. Excellent, isn't it? We have seen how do we create a RDD from a data frame, and other way around also. How do we create a data frame from an RDD? What is the next way of creating an RDD? By using local collection. Let us see that now. Let me create a collection. In a way, what I'm doing is I'm just writing something and assigning that to a variable. So I'll say the Spark is an awesome tool for distributed. I'm just writing something random processing. That should be enough. I created a variable which has some words. Okay. Along with that, what I will do is I'll just split them with the split function. I'll just split and space. Okay, let me go ahead and execute this guy. There you go. Collection is created now. Now we got to create a data frame from this collection. How do I do that? I'll say words. Remember, whenever we want to create an RDD, we got to go through Spark context. Please remember that without fail. I'll say parallelize, which we discussed in our conceptual class also. And I'm using this my collection. I'll specify the number of partitions. Let me go ahead and execute this. Done. Our RDD is created. Let me go ahead and check what are the elements of this RDD. You can see all these individual words are there as a part of our RDD. This is how you create a RDD by using a local collection. As we have already discussed as a part of our conceptual class, we have a control over number of partitions. Since we specified 2 here, we will have 2 partitions. Let us check that as well. You have 2 partitions here. Let me go ahead and increase the number of partitions and see what happens here. Instead of 2, we'll have 5. You have 5 partitions. So whenever you want to have a control over the physical distribution of the data, that is when you got to use the RDD. Wonderful. We have seen 2 ways of creating an RDD by interoperating with the data frame and also creating an RDD from local collection. Now the last method is we can go ahead and create an RDD by reading from a file. It is also very simple. Let's do that now. What I will do is let me go ahead and search if there is any file, or I'll create one file for you guys. So I'll make a directory called demo for RDD, and then I will copy a file called grid.txt to demo. Okay, let me go ahead and check if this file is there or not. Yes, we do have the file called grid.txt. Let me see what is there as a part of this text. We can see the person with the grit will definitely achieve something in life. We need to be disciplined and persevere to achieve. There is some content here. So I have kind of mentioned different names. That's fair enough. Let me go ahead and read this file and create an RDD. So I will just exit this. And I'll take the path of this. The next thing I have to do is say RDD from file is equal to Spark. Remember again, we got to use the Spark context. And then I'll say text file. I'll give the path of this. So this is the path of the file. And I'll specify the name of the file. What is the name of the file? Grit. I hope you guys have a grit to complete this course and become an expert in big data. Let me go ahead and execute this. Done. We have created a RDD from file. Let us look at the contents of this. You can see each of the line is separated by a comma here, right? So this is how you create a RDD from a file. Just to experiment further, if you say take 5, I'll get only 5 lines here. So here RDD is considering one whole line as one of the record or one of the element, the whole thing. If your file doesn't have any new line character, then the whole paragraph will be considered as a one record or an element. So you got to be careful when you are reading a data from a file and creating an RDD. Wonderful. We have seen how do we create an RDD by interoperating from a data frame, and how do we create an RDD from a local collection. And the third and final one being how do we create an RDD by reading the content from a file. Wonderful. Please practice how do we create an RDD from all these three modes. Thank you.